My friend's sister has been texting my husband and I don't know how to tell my friend. Just to clarify some things. I do know this woman, in fact I have known her since we were children. But she never met my husband because when we started dating almost 3 years ago she was in another country. So they never had any kind of interaction. Well, she came back 2 months ago and we've been seeing her very often because she's staying at my friend's place. And when I introduced her to my husband they got along well immediately because she was in his country and they talked a lot about that place. And to be honest I liked that they got along well. Because I know that he loves his country and loves sharing things about it with other people. A few weeks ago she started following him on Instagram and to be honest I didn't care because I'm not that kind of person who gets jealous over those things. But maybe I should have been that way in this case. Because last week my husband showed me that she was texting him in a way that was no longer just friendly. She began to compliment him like how men in his country are very handsome but that for her he was more handsome. That she would have loved to meet him before me because she really likes him, and when my husband told her that it wasn't appropriate to send those kinds of messages knowing that he is married, and that his wife is her friend. She's not really my friend but still. And all she told him was that I'm not her friend and that she didn't owe me loyalty, as if that justified her sending those kinds of messages to a married man. He blocked her and showed me all the messages immediately and I honestly didn't know what to do or say. As I said before, I have known her since we were children and we always got along very well, and the least I expected was for her to respect me or at least behave decently with my husband since I am her sister's best friend. Because now I find myself in a difficult position. My friend invited me to her apartment a few times and I rejected all the invitations because I don't want to see her sister. And I know that she suspects that something happened because the other day she told me that she wanted to come with her sister to help me cook since I was feeling sick. And I told her that it was not necessary. A few days later she told me that she wanted me to go to have dinner at her apartment and again I rejected the invitation. And she asked me what was wrong and I just lied saying that I'm feeling sick from the pregnancy and that was it. And I don't know if she believed me or not, but I know that I won't be able to lie to her forever. I know we should talk about what happened with her sister, but at the same time doing that terrifies me because she adores her sister and I'm afraid she won't believe me and will get mad at me or something. So I don't know what to do. How can I deal with this situation? How can I talk to her about it without her being offended? Comment. Just be honest. I love you and adore your friendship. Unfortunately, your sister made moves on my husband and I can't tolerate being around her. I'd love to have you over to my house or to meet you out at a restaurant. Just leave it there and see how she responds. If she asks about her sister, then be ready with all TNE screenshots, etc. Don't attack her sister or say horrible things about her. Just state the facts. Your response is good, but I would send screen caps of the texts with it. It's not as easy to blow things off when confronted with evidence, and even if she denies it to OP, in her heart she will know what's really up. You're going to hurt your friendship by not being honest and dodging every hangout and not being honest about why. As your best friend, you should be able to invite her alone for coffee and have an open adult convo about it. Bring screenshots of the exchange with your husband in case she asks. If you're anxious, just tell her that you don't intend for this to drive a wedge between her and her sister, but that you and Hub don't want to engage with her if it can be avoided. Here's what you do. You print out those screenshots and go over to your friend's house. Your friend will figure out exactly what is going on when you confront the girl. Please do this right away. She needs to learn that if she fools around with other people's husbands, sooner or later she's going to have to deal with an angry wife. Don't worry about offending your friends. Her family offended yours and it's on them to deal with the fallout. Make a group chat with your best friend and her sister. Send screenshots of the conversations where she is flirting with your husband. Send a text saying, "I'm sure you have noticed me being distant lately. I have been trying to figure out the best way to address this. I think the best way is probably just to be as blunt as possible. Your sister sent these texts to my husband. Honestly, I can't even put into words how hurt I was by this. I am cutting contact with you. Sister's name. I'm sure you have figured out my husband blocked you. Thankfully one of you had a moral compass. Best friend, I would still love to have a relationship with you, but I and my husband do not feel comfortable being around someone like your sister. I try and make it a point not to be friends or keep people in my life with such despicable morals. Sister, I don't know what I ever did to you to make you do this to me, but I hope you get help for your obvious issues. I'm sorry, no mentally healthy person goes after a married man, especially one so clearly not interested in you. You would have offended her far less by telling her the truth up front rather than lying to her and blowing her off. You are going to lose your friend over this. Not over her sister's actions, but you're being dishonest about things. You call her up and tell her everything you just told us. You send her evidence, the texts, etc. No secrets, no lies, you just tell the truth. Tell her you are not asking her to choose between the two of you, just that you for obvious reasons do not want to be around her sister and you certainly never want her sister to come into contact with your husband again. Make this about her sister, not about her. Don't insult her sister, don't attack her sister, just tell the truth about what happened and what was going on. Story 2. My girlfriend of 10 years has been cheating on me for the last 2 years. I don't know what to do anymore. My girlfriend of 10 years has been cheating on me for the last 2 years. She had a hidden boyfriend and apparently celebrated a 2-year anniversary with him. It's been about 6 weeks since I found out and she moved back in with her family. She was staying at my house for a few weeks as she took time off from work. I found out because I looked through her phone one morning. She was being really suspicious for a while and refused to let me hold it even when she was giving me navigation or even with Spotify. I took photos of what I found on my phone and decided not to say anything until I could properly process my feelings and know what to do. Coincidentally, she went through my phone that night and found the photos I took of her phone. She asks me why I didn't say anything and I said I'm still figuring out my feelings. I told her that I needed time to process my feelings and figure out what I would say. I told her she didn't wake me up to talk to me. She did it to make herself feel better because she was freaking out. Apparently her whole immediate family knew and her best friend and they all helped her keep it from me. I felt so betrayed by not just her but them, especially her friend because I had helped her through some hard times and had her back too and thought she was my friend too. Friends don't let friends cheat, but she did some scummy things before as well that I told them Elle didn't approve of. I guess I thought I was the exception. My GF has been begging for me to come back and says she's sorry and wants to do anything to make it better. I keep telling her I need time and space. I have been having weekly sessions with my therapist since this happened. Next one is in 2 weeks though. I love her so much still, but I just don't know how to look past this. This wasn't a one-night stand. It was a full-blown affair and her entire family and friends were okay with lying to me. We aren't perfect. We had other issues with religious beliefs and moral compasses, but I was willing to work past that. I was planning to propose in January when we were going to Hawaii. I never expected this. Open to any advice. Just please be kind. I'm pretty broken right now. Is this worth salvaging and working out or is it time to move on? How should I talk to her about this when we have our next steps talk? Timeline. Day of discovery -6:00 a.m. I find out she is cheating next day -12:00 a.m. /1:00 a.m. She finds out I know and wakes me up and confronts me. 2 days after discovery she leaves and goes back home to give me space. Her idea. Today, about 6 weeks after discovery. Comment. Don't take her back. The whole family knew. When you marry someone you marry the family. So not only would you be letting a poisonous cockroach back into your life, you would be letting the whole colony back into your life. It hurts because she's the only life you have ever known, together since 16. If you dig deep I think you will admit the relationship should have ended a long time ago. Most teen romances really aren't meant to survive the transition to adulthood. She may have been a lovely teen, but as an adult, she's a lying, cheating, evil mess. You can't make that into a wife, so what is the point in reconciliation? I agree. She's not sorry for cheating. She's sorry she was caught. OP, she's been cheating for the last 2 years. She probably is still with him. Even if she's not, she'll cheat again. Her family and friends knew this entire time. This isn't someone you build a life with and not a family you want to be part of. They are all liars and you can't trust any of them. Don't take her back and block her everywhere. He could read this and give up on the therapy session. Often the gym is better. I know what therapists would encourage you to do. Make considerations. For someone like her, you're not going to do that. The other important part is to do extensive therapy. Being cheated on is extremely traumatic and causes trust issues, which then go on to cause problems in future relationships. This really sucks, and I feel so badly for you, OP. But you'll come out in a better place once you've worked through it all. Most importantly, without someone who would treat you like that. I'm so sorry she did this to you and that everyone in her life enabled her behavior. You didn't deserve that. No one does. That being said, it's time to move on. A 2-year relationship with someone else takes time and effort. She has led a double life and was caught. The trust is broken and will never be rebuilt. You will always be suspicious of her if you stay with her. No good can come from you taking her back. The best course of action is to accept who she really is, not who you believed she was. You are in love with a person who doesn't exist. The positives are you found out before proposing and you are still young. You will heal from this and find someone way better who you can trust fully. Stick with therapy and work on yourself. You got this. Dude, 2 years, and her family knew. That just shows you what they really thought of you. The level of disrespect is beyond words. I would just go no contact and distance as much as possible. You do not need people like this in your life. Why would they support a cheater? Why is she begging you to come back? That's a full-blown relationship. 2 years. I would be causing damage. Hopefully, you have a great support system.